the defendant purchased this puppy from you?
His daughter was playing with the puppy. She fell in love with the dog. He told me that he would pay $750. Also, in our text messages, do you still have them?
Are you a married guy?
No, Your Honor.
You know, how did I know that? Because you talk a lot.
Of a puppy.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 2044, Bearden versus Thompson.
Mr. Bearden.
Yes, Your Honor.
It is your claim that the defendant owes you the balance of a dog that you sold to him.
Correct, Your Honor.
That's what the case is about. Defendant says he doesn't really think he got what he bargained for, and while he has no intention of returning the dog to you, he doesn't want to pay the balance.
Yes.
Be a yes. So I have a couple of questions, because it's not a terribly difficult case. You say in your complaint that you are a breeder of full-blood tricolor bullies.
Correct. Bully breed, American bullies, and these are tricolor American bullies, which have 5 different distinctions within the American bully breed realm.
I don't want you to try to confuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Any more than I'm confused about this.
Yes, ma'am.
Is an American bully a pit bull?
No, I have proof.
Shh. It is not.
It is not.
What is it a combination of?
Yes, it is a combination of.
Well, I know it's a combination of, but it's been recognized by the American Kennel Club as an independent breed of dog. But that is only recently. What is the American bully a combination of?
Honestly, can I read what I have?
No, if you say I don't, listen to me.
Yeah,
I know it's very, very
don't know.
hard for men to say 3 words. I don't know. Somehow they can say, I love you, I hate you, get out of my parking space, you're snoring. They can say a whole bunch of things, but they have trouble saying those 3 words.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know.
I fully own that. Yes, ma'am.
I
don't know.
don't know. Well, Sarah, look it up.
Will do.
American bully.
It says that originally standardized and recognized as a breed in 2004 by the American Bully Kennel Club.
2004. Mm-hmm. So if it's recognized a breed in 2004, it's got to be a mix of something.
So the American Bully was started by crossing the American Pit Bull Terrier with other dogs in the Bully breed family, and sometimes dogs outside of the Bully breed family. But it's become its own breed.
It's become its own breed, but started with the American Pit Bull. That's what that says. Do you want her to read it again?
So there's also bully dogs are descendants from the crosses between ancient bulldogs and a variety of British terriers. And this says an American bully was started by the crossing of the American Pit Bull Terrier with dogs in the other bully breed family.
And ultimately, it was recognized as a breed unto itself, although I don't understand how that could happen. If you're a cross between one breed, the American Pit Bull, and a variety of other dogs, you know, that's like a golden doodle. That's like a golden retriever and a poodle. Isn't that what a golden doodle is?
I believe so.
But it's not a breed unto itself. It's a cross between a couple of dogs, so it takes many years. And this sounds to me, at least, Mr. Bearden, as the bullies that you're describing that you breed, the genesis of that breed is an American Pit Bull with a variety of other things. Could be a boxer.
It could also, like the father, it could be a Rottweiler. Like the father of the puppies that he got, he has all the markings of a Rottweiler, but he has the head shape and body style that represents more of the Pit Bull style.
So that's information that I am now at least a little armed with. So now I'm going to come back to you. You're the breeder. And you said the puppies, that the litter that you sold Tim, one of the puppies, has Rottweiler in it.
No, I'm not saying that it has Rottweiler. I'm saying that the physical representation of it, the markings, the brown over the eyes, the brown hair, that's what the dad looks like. The puppies don't look like that.
Just a second. So you bred the dogs. What breed is the father?
The father is American Bully. He's considered an XL American Bully.
The father is an American Bully. In the father's history, it appears, based upon the look of the dog, is this what I'm understanding?
Yes.
It's a Rottweiler. In the history of the dog.
Yeah, it could possibly, yes. That's why he looks like that now,
It
yes.
could possibly be a gerbil, but a gerbil doesn't have distinctive markings. What you're telling me is the dog has the distinctive markings of a Rottweiler, but the body of a Pit Bull.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, what a combo.
He's beautiful. He's a beautiful dog.
They're beautiful dogs. Both of those dogs, by the way, will not be covered by most insurance policies. Pit bulls and Rottweilers. You do know that?
Yes.
Say yes loud.
Yes,
so we
yes,
can
I know
hear
that.
you.
Yes.
Okay. Did you know that?
I did not.
Well, it's interesting. Do you own your own home?
Yeah.
Yes is an answer.
Yes.
Do you have homeowners insurance?
Yes.
In your application for homeowners insurance, they would ask you what kind of dog you have, if you have any. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Did you write down what kind of a dog you had?
I didn't have a dog at the time.
I want you to read over your homeowner's policy, wherever you live. Who are you covered by?
Not exactly sure.
What do you mean not certain? You don't know who your homeowner's policy is with?
It's all in the bill.
What
It's all
bill?
paid for. One yearly fee.
You mean for your car, for your home,
Yes.
everything else? I would check, sir. If you own your own home, did you have a lot invested in your home?
Yes.
I would take a look because many insurance companies now will not insure or charge an extra premium if they would insure homes that have, as part of their household, certain breeds of dogs. I am telling you, and he knows it, that pit bulls and Rottweilers are in that group.
Yep.
So if something happens and your dog bites somebody and they will sue you, and you'll say, well, I have homeowners insurance, your policy might just disclaim.
That's why I didn't want a pit bull.
What do you think you got?
A pit bull.
You got an American bully. And it's not so hard to look up. You do have a tablet or something?
A bully, when you look it up, it actually is American Bulldog and a Stanford Terrier. It's
Well,
not.
an American Bulldog and a Staffordshire Terrier. You know what Staffordshire Terrier is.
Yeah.
What is it?
I mean, it's a pit bull.
Right, that's what it is. Everybody tries to use different language because they want to get away from that. It's a bully, it's a terrier, it's a something else. But bottom line, that's what it is. And you know that's what it is, whether it's a half or a quarter. You know it's listed among those breeds that the insurance company is not going to cover you for. And you have knowledge of that. You got to be careful. So it was your understanding that you were purchasing from the plaintiff a what?
A full 100% bully.
There's no 100% bully. There is no 100% bully. You just told me a bully is a mix between a...
After so long, it's considered a full bully. That's from my understanding.
That's not what that says. It says among other things. You really have to be more vigilant. Don't tell me what your friends told you. Don't tell me what they did. Don't tell me what they said. He told you that he was selling you an American bully.
Bully he purchased.
Okay, tell me when and under what circumstances Mr. Thompson purchased this puppy from you.
Yes, Your Honor. On April 28th, the defendant reached out to me. He was stating his name. Sorry. He was stated his name and that his daughter was playing with the puppy of a friend of his, and that friend of his had bought one of the puppies from my litter. She fell in love with the dog. She loved it. He wanted to come by and possibly get another puppy.
How old's your daughter?
7.
If I could do that thing that some people do and, cross their eyes on purpose, I would do that for you. Now, is this your only child?
Yes.
Okay.
After he reached out to me, we exchanged numbers and spoke for a few days over Facebook Messenger. I gave him my number. We had a conversation on the phone about prices, about the breed, and payments, because he reached out to me originally stating that, hey, I don't have that full amount that you would be asking for.
Just a second. Could I see text messages where you discussed the price?
Yes, ma'am.
And where you agreed on a price?
No, that was, so we agreed on a price verbally. The text messages is where I sent him my number. Right after I sent him my number, that's when we had the conversation about prices and payments.
Let me see what you...
Yes, ma'am. Do you want text messages and the Facebook messages?
Yeah. I don't
Okay. It's
read anything.
quite a bit. It's all in order from front to back. From
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Just about the price of the dog, please.
Well, like I said, Your Honor, the price of the dog was a verbal
I
conversation.
understand that. The initial discussion that you had with him, you told him what you wanted for the dog.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Mrs. Thompson, and you wrote, I told him I would even take the runt if you're willing to help me get a puppy for my daughter. Right. Okay. How old was the puppy when the puppy was delivered to Mr. Thompson?
They were right at 2 months and 2 weeks, I believe.
So about
They
10
were
weeks
born-
old.
Yeah, they were born February 20th, This was May 1st when they were.
Do you have a contract with him other than over the phone?
When he came there that morning,
That's either a yes or a no.
No.
You do not have a written contract.
the only contract that we have is of him giving me his ID, letting me take a picture of it because I didn't have any pen or ink at the
Okay.
time.
You don't have a contract with him.
No.
Are you a married guy?
No, Your Honor.
Yeah. You know, how did I know that? Because you talk a lot. Most married guys don't talk so much. They answer 2 or 3 words, and that's it. Do you live alone?
Yes, it's just me and my son.
How old is your son?
He's 12.
And how many of these dogs do you have roaming around?
I have 2.
Okay. Mr. Thompson, the plaintiff delivered the dog to you. You had no written contract with him. You just agreed to take the dog at a certain price, correct?
Correct.
He agreed to sell you the dog, and you discussed he got this much with papers, this much without, but he was willing to work with you without papers, correct?
Yes, correct.
So you were getting a dog without AKC papers for how much?
$500,
$500.
It's incorrect.
$100 down.
Just a sec. What?
$100 down and then $100 every 2 weeks until it was paid off.
So you gave him the $100?
Yes.
And then you never paid him any more?
Well, before the next payment was even there, I questioned him about being a full bully because everybody kept telling me it wasn't a full bully because I have multiple friends that.
Don't tell me what your friends told you. Don't tell me what they did. Don't tell me what they said. He told you that he was selling you an American bully.
Yep.
Without papers.
Yes.
So that you weren't going to use this dog for any breeding purposes.
Yes. Didn't plan.
Because you don't have papers, and that would be sort of foolish for you.
Yeah.
Did your daughter fall in love with the dog? Got the dog that she wanted, right?
Yeah,
the
she
little
picked it
female
out.
called
Zoe.
Zoe.
Yeah, she picked her out.
Your Honor.
And she just.
I disagree with that also.
What?
When he originally arrived that morning, he was trying to get a different dog. He wanted a certain one.
Just a second. Your daughter picked this dog out.
Yep.
Correct.
You disagree with that?
The daughter and him both wanted a different dog at first.
We had our mind set on a certain puppy before we got there. When we showed up, the puppy that we wanted was getting taken by another people that she.
So your daughter picked another puppy?
Yes, yes.
Correct.
Let's not make this harder than it is. She picked the one that she was happy with.
Yeah.
And she's still happy with it.
Yep.
And she likes it.
Yes.
You wouldn't take it away from her.
No, I would not.
You wouldn't give it back to him.
No, I would not.
Then you have to pay for it.
Well, I would have.
What is so hard about that?
Well, he lied about the shots. He never sent me proof of the first
Just a
shots.
second. You have a contract. That's if you're going to pay. He says $750. You say $500. Whether it's $750 or $500, what you're supposed to have if you're a breeder is a written contract. If that's what you do, you have a written contract. I always have a contract when I buy puppies. The breeders, reputable breeders, demand it. They say that they guarantee the health of the puppy for a certain period of time. You can take the dog to have it checked by a vet within a certain period of time. It says whether the puppy had its first shots or second shots or had no shots. It says all that. That's it. Other than that, I don't remember what these contracts said, but I bought many, and they are pretty much standard. Yeah. You bought a dog for either $750 or $500 that you didn't pay for, and now you have a bunch of excuses. Did you take the dog to a vet and have the dog tested as to its heritage?
I have not.
Well, then you can't tell me what your friend said to you. Whether your friend said that looks like, it doesn't look like, I don't know what it looks like. That's not relevant. If he's saying to you, this is an American bully, and you've had the dog professionally tested, the DNA of that dog tested, and it turns out that it's a cacophony of things, which clearly it is because it's a mix of things. What do you have to pay for the dog? You ate the steak. You don't want to give it back. The only question is, how much did you make an arrangement to pay? You say it was $750.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is you have any paperwork to show that?
I do not, Your Honor. Like I said, when he left, I have them contracts. I didn't have any more printer ink. He had to leave and be somewhere else. That's when I asked to go ahead and take a picture of his ID, and I plan to get the contract at a later date.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Was he originally asking for $1,000 for the dog?
He never originally asked me for $1,000.
No, but is that what your friend paid for his dog?
I don't know what my friend paid for the dog, but I know that he was having trouble selling him, so he marked down the price. I have a Facebook post where he actually, on his own Facebook, before I'd even...
Oh, do you have what?
I don't have it printed out. I have it on my phone. I'm willing to give
Oh, yeah, I'd like to see it. Does it list a price on it?
Don't have a price. It just talks about where he's willing to sell them and work with people on deals and stuff because he couldn't sell them this before I even met the guy.
Okay, well, so do you acknowledge that you posted that, sir? That you were willing to make deals with people because you were having difficulty getting rid of the puppies. You're going to pay him the balance of $400 now because you have. Do you acknowledge that you posted that, sir? That you were willing to make deals with people because you were having difficulty getting rid of the puppies?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I'd like to see his.
Make it a little brighter.
Because you say here that you usually sell them $2,000 with papers and $1,000 without.
Yes.
Okay.
And my
Just a second.
Facebook.
Just a second.
Yes, Your Honor.
5 pups left and needing good homes. These are full-blooded American tricolor bullies. Please help us find them homes. I'm willing to negotiate and rediscuss price payment at any point. Okay, so you're willing to work with anybody.
Exactly.
Okay, so when you had a conversation with him, tell me what price you arrived at.
We arrived at $750, and when we spoke, he told me that he would give me $100 every week. And also in our text messages, it also states where he mentioned if his taxes came, he would pay me in full.
Okay, but you talked about pay $100 every week.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
In my messages, there's a few times where I reference $500, and he never says, well, it's $750, not $500.
Okay, can I see those?
Yeah.
I'd like to see them.
In that message,
Now, just,
And we also talked.
just give me the message.
Okay. Here's the one that states 500 right here.
Yeah, I believe that the price you negotiated was $500 because the only one of the litigants that has any messages, that has any number in it, is the defendant, who talks, at least on 2 occasions, of the fact that he doesn't want to pay $500 for a mixed breed dog. And there's nothing in it that says, sir, it wasn't $500, it was $750. You gave me $100, so you still owe me $650. That's what the response should have been, and you didn't do that, sir. So
I would have had no problem paying him the $500 if it was a full bully. No problem at all.
you're going to pay him the balance of $400 now because you have the dog.
Okay.
Do you understand? A bully isn't a full-bred dog. A bully has a lot of other things in it. Do you understand?
Well,
and you want to keep the dog.
No, I wanted to bring the dog back. He said I could bring the dog back, and then he wrote back and said, okay, I could bring it back.
I just asked you a question. You want me to have her read it back to me? You just said.
I don't want to bring the dog back now.
Well, now is what we're talking about. Now is where we are.
It's 4 or 5 months now. My daughter has fell in love. But the first 10 days, I did ask to bring it back. He said, okay.
Right now, we're not in the first 10 days. Right now, we're here. I asked you a question. Do you want to give him the dog back?
If that's what it takes, yes.
You ready to take the dog back?
I do not want to. Once we sold the animal,
Well, if he says that there is no proof that this litter was a full-blooded American bully, and you have the American Kennel Club records that show that it is, because you must have registered the litter. That's what happens, Mr. Bearden, when you have a full-blooded dog. You register the litter, and then if you're selling it with papers, the new owner will register the dog with the AKC in their name. So all you have to do now is show me the registration for that litter. No, that's either a show me or I don't have it.
I do not have that, Your Honor. Because there was no reason. That's why the puppies were $2,000 with papers and $1,000 without. There's no reason going the extra mile. That's why they have the $2,000 option of me taking that headache off their shoulder.
No. That's a lot of who shot John, sir. If you are a breeder, that's what you identify yourself as. I am a breeder of.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay? And clearly you are a breeder of because he saw puppies from another litter of yours, which drove him and his daughter to contact you.
Yes, Your Honor.
So if you're a breeder, you register that litter so that if you want to sell it, a puppy with papers, you've already registered that litter. Either you can use it or not. Do you understand what I'm saying? You would know exactly what I'm
Your Honor.
saying,
That's
Mr.
the
Beard.
normal process of things,
Okay.
yes.
And right now, Mr. Thompson, at this point, I agree that you agreed to pay $500 for the dog and gave him a $100 deposit.
Yes.
Which means you owe him $400.
He said I could bring the dog back at one point. I wanted to bring the dog back because I didn't think it was the dog I wanted.
I'm talking about now.
Yes, I know, but then
he said no.
And then he said no 2 days later, and then he said he's going to take me to court, or he threatened me and said he's going to have someone come get the money out of me if not. And then that's when I stopped responding. After he threatened me, I stopped responding. And that was before our first initial payment. That was within the first 10 days, and it wasn't even in the 14 days yet when I was going to make my payment.
Did you pay him?
No, I didn't.
$100?
I paid him $100, yes.
Yes, I'm talking about $100.
Yes, I did.
So what do you want me to do today? Either.
I don't think he deserves nothing. He lied about the breed. He never sent me shots. He lied about those.
Yeah, just
and
a
then,
second.
And then he threatened me.
Do you want to return the dog to him, or do you want to pay him the $400?
I'll return the dog to him.
Fine. He's returning the dog to you.
And
You understand?
I've paid all the vet bills.
Just a
4
second.
Vet bills.
I don't care, but I will prepare an order that within 5 days of today, you will deliver the dog back. He delivered the dog to you?
No,
You will.
I went to his house, picked it up.
You went to his house? Great. How far do you live from each other?
30 minutes, probably.
Is there a police precinct in the middle? Because I don't want this done at anybody's house. What police precinct is closest to you, sir?
It'd be Bullitt County Police Department.
That's where you will meet 5 days from today. What's a good time for you?
4 p.m., 5 p.m.
What's a good time for you?
Whenever.
4 o'clock.
Yeah.
4 o'clock.
Yes, Your Honor.
Fine. We'll prepare an order, give it to you. You meet at the precinct and exchange the dog.
Will he pay me from what I gave him?
He'll give you back the $100
What about all the vet bills?
that you eat.
Okay,
Got it?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's the order. That's what he wants.
sounds good.
Let him go explain it to his daughter. Perfect. Thank you.
Then him win.
This court is adjourned.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly I'm going to do moving forward.
I didn't feel like I got the dog that I wanted.
I never made a threat to him, never did anything like that. I told him that I would take him to court.
There was definitely a better dog out there.
I'm an honest, hardworking man, and I deserve what he's supposed to pay to me.
So I was so confused because as I'm looking for where it comes from, because I know it's not a purebred, it said the American Bully is a great family dog because although bred from pit bulls, which sometimes have an aggressive tendency, the aggressive tendencies of American Bullies have been bred out. And I was a little bit confused how you could breed out the aggression.
I don't know. I hate to be that guy going home today to explain to his 7-year-old that she's losing her puppy.
Yeah,
I would
I'm
not like to
glad
be
I
there
don't have to
with
go
them.
home to that.
I hate people who scam the system. But you got this money from him. And your defense is that he was trying to scam somebody else, so you shouldn't really have to pay him back, even though it was his money.
It was his money.
It was his money
That I
that he
never
took out of
agreed
his
to.
bank and gave to you
Right.
for no reason.
That I never agreed to pay back for a lease that he was legally on. He's responsible for that rent money no matter what.
You mean so you get to live there free?
No,
Well,
no.
just a second. So you get to live there free. If he paid for it for the months that you didn't, you got to live there free. He wasn't even living there. It's not as if he was living there and you didn't get to live there free. You lived there alone. And he was paying the rent.
Yes.
Well, why do you think you're not responsible for that once you get back on your feet?
We never talked about a repayment.
No.
That's not
Yeah, okay. Now,
We definitely talked about repayment.
Now, I want you to explain to me and be very careful because, I've been in this system a very long time. So I know about social services and I know about the system and I know about welfare and I know about food stamps. I know all about that. So you contact her.
Yes.
And she tells you she lost her job.
Yes.
Let's pick it up from there.
Okay. So I found out through the payment portal that she hadn't paid rent.
Yeah, we're
So
past that.
Okay.
We're
I
past
contacted
that.
her about that. Well, there was.
Don't look up.
Apologies. I sent her money that night.
No. You contacted the portal, and then you had to have had a conversation with her.
Right.
If you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. Let's start with you contacted the portal, and you found out she hadn't been paying her rent. That was in January.
Correct. January the 2nd.
And January, she hadn't paid rent, and you called her, and she said to you,
She said to me that she didn't have money to pay, which I was aware of because she had previously told me that she I was aware that she had lost her job.
just a second, how did you become aware that she had lost her job?
Because we were friendly with each other. We were talking several times a week via Facebook Messenger.
Fine. You knew that she lost her job.
Yes.
And I assume you knew if she lost her job and you were speaking several times a week. Let's be very careful. This isn't just calling the pay portal and finding out that this stranger who you met once wasn't paying her rent. You were speaking and you knew that she had fallen on difficult times. And?
I did. I didn't.
Don't go up here. Right here.
I didn't know that she wasn't going to pay rent on time.
No, just a second. You didn't know what?
On the 2nd was when I found out that the rent hadn't been paid.
On the 2nd of January.
The 2nd of January.
Just look at me. On the 2nd of January, you found out the rent hadn't been paid. What did you do?
So I called Nadine to ask about it, and she told me that she didn't have the money. And so I said, okay, I have these extra funds because I, at the time, was also unemployed. I had been taking payments, unemployment payments and then the COVID payment.
And what?
The extra payments for COVID on top of unemployment because this was 2020.
Welcome to Inflation 101.
Right. So all of my payments had been late and had come in a lump sum. So that is why I had
Okay.
extra
So your
money.
unemployment and your COVID funds
Yes.
came in one lump sum.
Correct.
And I want you to think very, very carefully. And you're living where, sir?
Seattle.
With whom?
At the time, I was seeking a roommate.
No. Where were you living?
So I was living in Seattle.
In Seattle with whom?
No one.
By yourself?
Yes. Technically, someone was paying rent because they had moved out.
You're looking up at the sky.
Sorry.
Don't look up at the sky. So somebody had moved out of their apartment,
Yeah.
which had been prepaid in rent.
Yes.
So you were living there rent-free.
No. This was my apartment that I lived in for 3 years. And someone else had moved in and then moved out. And they broke the lease, not me.
They broke the lease, but they paid the rent.
Correct. They paid their half. I was still paying my half of rent. I never defaulted on my rental payments in Seattle ever.
And they were still paying theirs.
Yes, so we were both each paying our respective parts of the rent. And I was paying rent in Utah.
And you were paying rent where the defendant was living. Okay. So I want you to think very carefully. When you got your unemployment and your extra COVID money in a lump sum, how much did you get?
What?
No, don't look over there. You know exactly how much you got.
Yeah,
You don't have to think about it. Just give me a number.
$10,000.
Well, that should last you for a little bit. And you got $10,000 on what date?
I don't remember.
Month.
It would have been in November.
Okay, so now she's run out of funds, and you say to her, go ahead.
By the time we get to January, I do not have $10,000. I have much less because of other circumstances.
Like what?
Like needing to purchase a car for the girlfriend that I stayed in town.
A car?
Yes.
What else?
Rental payments. That's it. Nothing.
You bought your girlfriend a car.
I did. Her car that she had was a beater, and
I
it
don't
was
care.
unsafe.
I don't care. What about your car?
I did use a down. I furnished the down payment for the car.
Okay, so you bought two cars.
No, just one. I personally didn't have a vehicle at the time.
Oh, I'm not believing you, sir. I'm really not buying this whole story. You're living by yourself with a roommate. The roommate moves out. Your girlfriend had a terrible car. You don't live with the girlfriend.
Don't.
But you bought her a car. You didn't have a car, but you bought her a car.
I had, if we need to back it up, I had given up my car in a bankruptcy earlier in the year because of...
In whose bankruptcy?
My bankruptcy.
Your bankruptcy.
That is why I didn't have a car.
It's getting better all the time. Okie dokie.
It was an interesting year.
That doesn't mean you don't owe money. It just means I have to know the characters that I'm dealing with.
I understand, Your Honor.
Okay. While you were going to the program, which you said it was in person, were you getting any government assistance that was connected to this trade school? I give you permission to stay beyond December 31st.
No.
So you stayed beyond December 31st. Were you there in January? Is not an answer.
Yes.
Were you there in February?
Yes.
Were you there on March 1st?
Yes.
On March 2nd?
Yes.
On March 3rd?
Yes.
On what day in March did you move out?
March 5th.
Did you pay rent in the month of January?
No.
February?
No.
March?
No.
Okay, that's what you're suing for.
Right.
Well, you have a defense for not paying rent for those 3 months, which you clearly occupied her premises. Who wants to tell me why you didn't pay rent?
She told us in the beginning we were supposed to buy the house. We did numerous renovations to our house. We cleaned it up. And when we first moved in July 1st, it wasn't move-in ready.
I don't care. You lived there. Not only did you live there, you executed a second lease for another 6 months. You lived there from the beginning of the lease up until March 5th, which is 3 months beyond when you were supposed to be there. I'm waiting for a defense and not paying rent.
Yes. For July 2019, when we first moved in, The house was hideous. She had stuff in every room. We weren't able to move our stuff in.
Did you live there?
Yes, we had nowhere else to go.
I don't care. You had a choice. If the house wasn't in move-in condition, you break your lease, but you don't say at the end of the lease, by the way, when we were there 2.5 years ago, the house wasn't ready for us to move in. It wasn't in condition that we liked. We lived there anyway. So that's not an excuse for not paying rent at the other end. Anything else?
Yeah. She offered to give us the last month rent that we were there for free.
The last month?
The last month rent. I have the papers.
Well, I'd like to take a look at that, but you owe 3 months.
3 months? We moved off March 5th.
I don't care. You were there March 1st. That's the month.
Okay.
Did you indicate to them that you would give them a month off the rent? Okay.
No, ma'am.
She says that you did. I'd
like
like
to see
it.
your evidence as well.
No, just shh.
Let's look at the pictures.
No, she agreed to waive the final month's rent for the period of April 1st, 2022 to May 2nd, 2022. You were gone in March.
Right.
And your lease, for some reason, she agreed to waive rent for a month that you weren't there. She didn't waive January, February, or March. She agreed to waive it April 1, 2022 to May 2nd, 2022. That's no evidence that she waived any rent.
We moved out in March 5th. Why do we still owe her for March?
Because you were there in March.
Okay.
If she was using the premises as a rental premises and you were leaving at the end of February, then she would have been able to rent her premises beginning March 1st. You don't move out until March 5th, the beginning of March. That means she needs a couple of days, or any landlord would need a couple of days to put the place in order and re-rent it. They wouldn't be able to re-rent until April. So you were there. Is there any reason you stayed until March 5th instead of... Just a second. You didn't let me finish the question. Is there any reason why you didn't move out the last day in February and instead stayed into March?
Because our house wasn't ready yet.
What do you mean it wasn't ready?
We wasn't ready to move in there yet.
What was wrong with it? Where did you move?
Victorville, California.
Okay. To what kind of property?
We bought a house.
Okay. When did you buy the house? What month?
We get close January something.
So you bought the house in January. Mm-hmm. When you inspected the house that you bought, did you buy it furnished or unfurnished?
Unfurnished.
Did you have furniture in the plaintiff's house?
Yes.
You'll give her the address so she can check.
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Sarah, just look it up for me, please. On what date did you close on that property?
February?
No, don't.
February?
On what date, sir, did you close on that property? It's probably in the record.
I can't remember offhand.
We're not talking about so long ago. Is there an address?
February 7th is listed as the closing date.
2/7. So the house became yours on February 7th. That sound familiar? That's what it says.
Yes.
Well, then you had 3 weeks to move in, to get it ready.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well,
All right. Fine. So you owe her 3 months' rent at $1,600 a month.
What about the renovations we did to our house?
Who cares? I live in a place for a couple of years and I make changes to the place that I find make it more comfortable. There's nothing in this lease agreement that says that she has to reimburse you for things that she did, and this is not a rent-to-buy agreement. This is a straight tenancy agreement.
We were supposed to buy her house.
There are agreements that are rent-to-buy that list what the rental is and what the ultimate purchase price will be, and whether or not you can deduct the rent that you've paid or a percentage of it from the total purchase price, or whether you cannot. This is a straight rental agreement. So if you made improvements in the house, if you painted it, if you put in new carpeting to make it more comfortable for yourself, you don't get reimbursed for that because there's nothing in your lease that requires her to reimburse you for any improvements that you make in the house. You're bound by the four corners of the contract that you signed.
Well, what about how the conditions that we moved in?
Well,
that she doesn't.
Yes. By living there for 2.5 years, without, I assume, unless you can show me, without, I assume, a written complaint to her. Do you have that? Do you have a written complaint? No. I asked you, sir.
I have pictures.
$4,800. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're finished. Thank you. You count the claims dismissed. It's ridiculous.
My mother's deceased, and it would actually hurt my mother to see us in court today. And that's my only regret, that I had to do that.
We're done.
The bottom line is I am back in my house.
So I had a thought about that case because going through college, I think the first time I saw a lease was my sophomore year or so when I moved off campus. And my dad, luckily enough, was there to help me look over it and sort of teach me what a lease was, what the different sections meant, what I should really be looking out for. So in my mind, it would make sense for colleges to offer a basic life skills course to teach young incoming freshmen how to read a lease, how to negotiate on your behalf.
Did they offer that class at all to undergraduates?
It seems specified to business students or closed off to certain majors. Just to have some guidance would have been, I think.
Case 2152, Robinson versus Lane.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How long have you been in the business of renting party equipment?
We've been in the business about 2.5 years.
And when you started the business by purchasing how many pieces of equipment?
We purchased 3 used units.
3 used?
Yes, obstacle courses, and we rented them out, and then we saved the money and then progressed renting them out and getting more.
Now, the jumper that you rented to the defendants.
Yes, ma'am.
Was one that you bought used or one that you bought new?
I bought it new.
When?
I bought it on 7/19/21. I have the receipt for it.
I'd like to see it, please. Okay, and what you rented from them was a 38-foot obstacle course.
We didn't rent from them.
Who did?
Some friends of ours did. They used our property for their daughter's Sweet 16. They paid the Robinsons. They signed the rental agreement. We did not.
Is that correct?
Sandra is actually the one that handed me the cash.
Did somebody sign a rental agreement?
Yes.
Who was it?
It's a lady. Her name is...
Okay, so let me understand that this is, let me frame it. You rented this piece of equipment, which is a 38-foot obstacle course, to someone whose name is, and according to your complaint, it was returned damaged.
Yes.
You say it can't be repaired, although you tried to patch it.
Right.
And you want the cost of a new obstacle course, and while you paid $4,500, you want $9,000.
Well, I have a list of loss of rentals because people...
You're not entitled to that. Okay. More important, I want to know how you think if these people were not signatories to your rental agreement, why would you sue them?
When we went there...
May I see that, please, by the way, while she's telling me the story?
When we went there to drop it off, we did all the, I dealt completely with Sandra. They run a business in their property, which is for parties. She said they do cigar club parties, they do Sweet 16 parties on their property.
Okay, got it. You do this as a business?
So, yes, we run...
The answer is yes.
Yes.
You use your home property. Is it your home property that you use?
Yes.
So you have a large enough piece of property that other people who want to make parties for their children do them at your house.
Yes.
So you took physical custody of this.
No.
Who did?
The renters, the people...
No. It's physical custody, not legal custody. We're not talking about legal custody. You took physical custody and put it on your property.
The people that signed the original rental agreement were on the property at the time that they dropped it off.
I don't care. It was on your property.
Yes, it was on our property.
So that's a yes.
Yes.
So it was on your property, but used by somebody else, and they were just using your property.
Yes.
Is that correct?
I had it rented out on Sunday. So when I dropped it off, I told Sandra that we would have to come at 6:30 in the morning to pick it up, to clean it and deliver it the next day. She agreed to that because normally we don't leave it overnight if it's going out the next day because we need to sterilize it. When we got there at 7 in the morning, we came in and we were getting ready to pick up the 38-foot obstacle. I noticed that the dogs had chewed, and there are 2 dogs, a boxer and another dog, were still running around and lifting their leg and urinating on the bouncer. We told her, your dog ate our obstacle. There's pieces of the vinyl, which I have pictures of it, where your dog just ate it.
Have pictures of our dog chewing it?
Just a second. I don't want to hear you again. I tried to ignore you quietly and figured you'd get the message. You don't shout out here. Go ahead.
My husband said, excuse me, miss, we have a problem. Your dogs have eaten our obstacle. So then she went in to go and get her husband. Her husband came out. He signed paper saying he was responsible for loss of rentals and the damages or replacement of it.
May I see it, please?
Yes. And also he sent text messages to our phone that same morning apologizing and saying he would do everything to replace it, plus the loss of rentals that we were going to lose.
I'd like to see those texts, and I would like to see his signature on a piece of paper assuming responsibility.
And then,
just a second.
and here's the text messages.
Oh, would you show this to Mr. Lang, please? Yes. Did you sign that, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
I signed it under distress.
Under distress?
Under distress.
There's no such thing. You mean duress?
Duress. She was.
Just a second. There's a difference between distress.
Duress.
Okay. At 7:29 a.m., you said, I, Aaron Lang, recognize and acknowledge that a jumper obstacle course has been damaged from a dog. I will take care of the repairs and work with the rental company and its owners to get this resolved ASAP. And then about 15 minutes later, you wrote, I'm so sorry again. Let me know when you drop it off, please. Okay, so you tried to drop it off the next day.
I was trying to drop it off the next day to Albert, our repair guy.
Just a second, just answer my question. It doesn't require a long answer. The next day, you were trying to get it resolved, and you're back and forth with him, let me know, et cetera, and then you don't hear from him.
No.
Then it stopped. Tried calling you, I tried messaging you to get this resolved.
Yes.
Okay, well, Mr. Lang, there's no question. You acknowledged the damage and you agreed to pay for it. That's what you have. Can I have that back? You acknowledged in here that you would take full responsibility for this. What's your defense?
My defense is when they arrived on the property to pick up their jumper that was left unaccounted for over.
No. When they arrived.
So when they arrived and they announced to us that there was damage to their obstacle course.
Well, they came to you first.
Yes.
Correct.
Is that, don't speak. They came to you first.
Yes.
You came outside.
Yes.
Okay, and when you came outside, you had a conversation with whom?
I believe Miss Robinson.
With Mrs. Robinson?
Yes.
Okay, and what did you say to her and what did she say to you?
She just went hysterically, like upset that the jumper was damaged, and that's when I went inside and
Just a
dropped
second.
my husband.
What did she say?
She just started crying, and she
started to cry.
Yeah, and she's like, your dog's damaged my obstacle course.
Just a second. So she was crying.
Yes.
And did you have any issue when she said to you, your dog's damaged my obstacle course? Did you see what was bitten off from the obstacle course? That's either a yes or no. The answer is yes. Okay. What kind of dogs do you have?
A German Shepherd and a Boxer.
And where had you stored this unit overnight?
It was left outside.
In the backyard, in the front yard?
We live on a huge ranch, so it's a 2.5 acre parcel. And it's been known that our neighbor dogs always hop.
I don't want to hear neighbor dogs. I don't want to hear coyotes. I don't want to hear bears.
My witness, he
Just
is
a
the repair guide.
Stand up, sir. I don't need an explanation of this. I'm not going into the repair jumper business. Thankfully, I have a job, and I'm too old to learn anything new.
And later today.
You have the phone.
I do. To this day, I am still paying for the data for that phone.
That's a lie.
Just a second.
I literally
Just a second.
Her house.
Okay, now I'm going to get back to you. So now your wife comes in to get you, and you went outside.
Yes.
And?
I go outside.
Who else is there?
Just my wife and I.
So just the two of you?
Just the two of us were home.
And they were there?
And they were there.
Both of them?
Yes.
Okay.
And their daughter.
Okay, and?
I go outside. Miss Robinson is completely hysterical, crying, just out of control in hysterics.
Okay.
Her husband's yelling, screaming, profanity.
No, tell me. Oh, I want you to tell me exactly. No. I want you to tell me exactly. She's crying, and he starts yelling.
Yes.
Well, you came out and said what to them when you came out? And then I want to hear exactly what was said.
I asked to see the damage, for them to show me what was going on, what had happened. They showed me the damage. We both took pictures. Again,
No, you both
took
took,
pictures.
just a second. So he composed himself long enough to take pictures.
Yes.
And you were composed enough to take pictures.
Yes, I was.
Which you have.
Yes.
And then what happened?
Throughout there screaming.
No, I want you to tell me. Now you're
I'm
taking
telling you.
pictures, and?
Brandon is on the phone with their repair guy of some sort.
Okay, so he's on the phone. He's composed enough to be on the phone. Now, before he got on the phone with his repair guy, did you discuss with him your responsibility to take care of the damage? That's either yes or a no.
Yes.
Yes. So once you said, I'll take care of the damage, he got on the phone with his repair guy.
Before I agreed to take care of the damages, before we discussed that, he was already on the phone with the repair guy.
Okay, and then he got off the phone, but you signed this the same day. So I want to know when in this conversation you signed it. You need something to lean on. Somebody has to give you a piece of paper. Somebody has to get a pen.
I did not fill out that piece of paper.
You don't have to.
Tabitha is the one that filled out the piece of paper in their vehicle.
Who did?
Miss Robinson is the one that filled it out in her vehicle.
Okay,
and then
so
handed it
just
to
a
me to
second.
sign.
So she got in her vehicle.
Crying in hysterics.
I don't care. She got in her vehicle, and where was her husband?
Outside loading a bouncer.
So he was outside.
Yes.
She went inside her vehicle, and he was busy.
Yes.
And you live in a house,
Yes.
and you felt pressured.
Yes.
You felt as if you were being extorted.
Bullied, yes.
Did you go inside to call the police?
No, I did not. I should have.
Yeah, but you didn't.
I did not.
You went over to the truck where she was hysterical. She wrote out this document, right?
Yes.
And you signed it.
Yes, I did.
There we go. Make my life very easy. Did your repair guy try to fix the bouncer?
I do have a receipt where we did have it, tried to get it temporary patch where we paid $600 just to make sure we could still rent it out. So that was paid for. This is my repairman. He is my witness. And then also I do have a paper with an estimate of what it would be to repair the obstacle.
May I see it, please? After he did this job, which he did on October 4th, from the 3rd to the 4th, did you rent it out?
No, we tried to, but I have pictures that I brought of what happens when the air flows through. The patches won't stay. You have to go up inside the bouncer and actually put a patch on the inside and the outside, and it would cost more money. My witness he
Just
is
a
the repair
second.
guy that can
What
tell you.
you're telling me is that your witness prepared this estimate of what it would cost to repair the jumper.
Yes.
Stand up, sir. I don't need an explanation of this. I'm not going into the repair jumper business. Thankfully, I have a job, and I'm too old to learn anything new. Did you prepare this estimate to fix the jumper?
Yes, ma'am. That is the full estimate to repair it properly.
To do it
new
properly?
location. Yes.
Okay.
The first one was the temporary repair.
Listen, I got it. I'm a fast learner, and anybody who watches this program better learn to think fast too, because I have a lot of things to do today. So you prepare this. So for $2,500, in addition to the $600, did they pay you the $600?
Yes.
So in addition to the $600, so in total, $3,100 would fix the jumper.
Correct.
Great. That's what you agreed to pay, sir. You agreed to do the repairs on the jumper. Now, you want a new jumper. You're not going to get a new jumper. You're not going to get damages for lost income. He's going to fix the jumper. How long is it going to take you?
Roughly about 2 days. 2 to 3.
2 days. Piece of cake. $3,100. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
I don't owe them anything. I didn't rent the bouncer
I'm just happy that we're going to have our bouncer repaired.
because they're money hungry.
They're looking for a payday.
The truth always comes out, and what's right is what's right.
So initially, after reading the papers, I thought the plaintiffs, while perfectly matched in their tops, were suing the wrong people because these people didn't sign the rental agreement. So any damage or any agreement to pay damage, I was with you from the beginning that these are the wrong people. It came out that they had a little bit more involvement, the defendant, than they wanted.
They agreed to pay.
Exactly. He knew he did the wrong thing. He probably saw his dog destroy the jumper from the kitchen window and felt bad and knew that it was his responsibility. I don't think that they deserve $9,000 for a brand new jumper, but they deserve to get it fixed and to keep making money off of it.
Right.
Case 2178, Glad versus Sawbird. All parties, please come forward.
Serenity Glad is suing her ex-girlfriend, Jennifer Sauber, for unpaid loans.
Miss Glad, if my memory is correct, you are suing the defendant for a series of small loans that you claim she owes you for, and those loans were created, according to you, during a period of time that you and the defendant were either involved in a relationship and or engaged.
Yes.
How long do you know each other?
We've known each other since May of 2021.
And there came a time when the defendant came to live with you, or you went to live with the defendant?
I moved to Colorado to live with her.
And when was that?
That was in May of 2022.
When you moved in with her to Colorado, were you working?
Not at the time, no.
What kind of work did you do in Colorado?
I was unemployed.
How'd you support yourself?
A friend of the family helped me out due to my disabilities.
Who pays your rent?
The friend of the family.
Do you own a car?
I did.
Do you now?
No.
Are you working now?
Not at the moment, no.
Prior to that?
I was out in Colorado.
Working?
Yes.
For whom?
It was a local coffee shop.
Okay. Now you're living together, you are a couple. At some point you became engaged, and then something happened. What happened is probably irrelevant. What I want you to tell me is, from the point that you moved in, what loans do you claim you made to her?
I had paid part of a vet bill.
When was that?
That was at the end of May. I have the invoices here.
And what makes that a loan?
Because at the time she didn't have money and she had agreed to pay me back when she had gotten a job.
Did you agree to pay her back for this vet bill when you got a job?
No, ma'am. The friend of the family was going to pay for it all, but she insisted on paying it.
Tell me about that.
So in the vet office, I was messaging the friend of the family, and he was willing to pay it in full. And she was like, no, I'm going to pay for it. You need to quit asking him for money. I was like, he is the person that supports me right now. We do not have the money, so he's going to help us. She said that she would pay for half of it, I believe it was.
For half?
For half.
Okay.
So it was like $100.
How much was it?
$170.
Let's keep moving on.
I've been paying my data on my phone, and she keeps turning it off.
Just a second. I can't help you with that.
I understand.
You know, I'm not one of those, Now, then you get into your car.
Correct.
And?
I got into the car. I drove, before I drove off, the car was going back and forth. I looked in the back window. I noticed that someone was breaking my windshield wiper, breaking the front of my windshield wiper.
Who was that?
It was Jessica's cousin or niece. She was there. She was breaking the windshield wipers and so forth.
And then?
I drove off. I drove 2 streets away and I called the police on myself.
So what are you suing them for? Somebody else damaged your car.
I have recordings of Jessica opening my driver door and kicking the steering wheel.
Okay, I would like to hear that recording.
Yeah. Okay.
You could see all the blood on me.
I just want to know where her.
I didn't see anybody kicking your steering wheel.
Kicking the inside of my car. If you notice,
I didn't see anybody kicking inside of your car. You want to play that again?
Yes.
Maybe I missed it.
It's right here. You see Jessica, she's moving a lot. She's actually kicking the inside of my vehicle.
Okay. And then she gets out.
Correct.
Okay. And so I want you to show me the damage she did to your steering wheel.
Yes.
Because then you say you drove away. So you clearly drove away and the car was functioning. Let me just get this clear, Miss Flores.
Yes.
By the time she went in and kicked your car,
Yes.
and then she got out of the car and you got in and drove away, you had already stabbed both of them with a weapon, which neither one of them had, when one of them tried to prevent you from leaving by kicking your steering wheel. Am I getting this right?
Yes, you are, Your Honor.
That's funny. So let me understand this. You had a confrontation with 2 unarmed people. You stabbed them both. You suffered no physical injury. They're going to show me, because I had seen photographs in here of their injuries. One required 13 stitches, one required several staples as a result of
I got 30 stitches.
And you think that was okay?
I was self-defending myself. I have previous events of them constantly harassing me, Your Honor.
I don't care.
I have restraining orders against them. They kept harassing me.
Listen to me. You can't use a deadly weapon against somebody because you feel as if you're being harassed. But the first thing that was clear is if they had been harassing you and they were told by security in the bar to leave for whatever reason, because nothing happened in the bar because you felt uncomfortable. You just felt uncomfortable that they were there. So maybe they were rowdy, who knows? But then they were escorted out of the bar. Mm-hmm. And instead of you letting this situation sort of resolve and staying for a half hour until they left, you decided to leave at the exact same time as they were escorted out, or moments thereafter, because you wanted to get home and take a nap before you had to go pick up your children early in the morning. Am I getting that right?
You are, yes.
Yeah. Get out of here. You have a counterclaim.
Yes. Yes.
And your counterclaim is for being stabbed.
Yes, Your Honor.
I would just like to know, there was a trial on this?
Yes.
Against her?
Against her.
Was it a jury trial?
Well, we weren't really involved in anything for it. We got like phone calls, but they pretty much told us like, you don't need to go to court because there's nothing to do other than we already have your statements.
Did you have a lawyer? Because you were arrested for assault. You had to be arrested for assault.
Yes.
This was serious physical injury.
I did.
One of them was in the neck. You know, but for the grace of God, it could have hit an artery. It could have been dead. What happened with that case when you were arrested?
It got dismissed.
I want to see a certificate of disposition. I want to see what happened.
This is where it's dismissed. Those were the ones that were for dismissal.
I have to know more about this.
I have the police report of that.
No, I don't want the police report. I want to know what happened in court that caused it to be. Was it dismissed? Did you take a plea and do community service?
No.
Well, what happened?
They dropped it because I had a restraining order in previous events with Jessica and Priscilla.
Where does it say that here?
When we were at court, they didn't show up multiple times. I didn't get my release until November. I was out on OR until November 22nd.
Okay. I asked you to show me a picture just for closure.
For the vehicle.
Kevin, would you just show me pictures of the steering wheel that she wants to show me?
Yes, they're all in there.
Just steering wheel. Now, who wants to tell me what happened?
Your Honor, we were not escorted out of the bar the night everything happened on September 25th. So we were just in the front of the bar. We were not escorted out.
Did anybody ask you to leave?
No, nobody asked us to leave.
How come you decided to leave? You had just gotten there.
We didn't leave at all.
You didn't leave?
No. Nobody asked us to leave. We didn't feel any type of way of being
Fine.
there.
So now you're at the bar, and?
And so we had gotten our drinks, and we were already there for a while until we noticed that Miss Flores was there. And so once we noticed that she was there, we still, were just
stayed.
like...
Come, faster.
And then
faster.
So we stayed, and towards the end of the night, which was already past 1:30, almost 2 is closing time. So we were still right there, and we were right there by the front of the bar. When Miss Flores had walked past me, she had mumbled something, then I had asked her what she mumbled. Somehow we were going around her car, and...
Now, just say you're at the bar. How do you get around her car when you're in the bar?
Like she mentioned, she was parked in the front.
So she was leaving. Follow me carefully.
There's so much going on. I looked down and I felt wet, and I just touched myself. My outfit, as you could see in the video, was covered in blood. I hadn't touched her. We were arguing, but I have the police report here where she states that she did not have any injuries.
And Jessica are countersuing, claiming Danielle stabbed them multiple times.
She was leaving.
She was leaving.
Passing you in the bar.
Yes, correct.
And she was leaving. Then she said something to you, mumbled something under her breath.
Yes.
You said, what did you say to me? Blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
She's still leaving. She goes outside.
Yes.
Did you follow her outside?
No.
Yes.
Did you? I don't want to hear you. Did you go out after her?
We were already in the front.
I don't understand what you mean in the front.
Well, because the front of the bar has an inside and outside. And the front has where you can, kind of hang around. So that's where we were. But we were not escorted out. We were not.
I didn't ask you whether you were escorted out. I'm trying to get a timeline. Right now, she passed
she said
you.
we were escorted out and we weren't.
Did you understand what I just said to you? I'm past that.
Yes.
Right now, all I'm dealing with, how much of this whole mess and getting stabbed was instigated by the two of you. That's what I'm trying to figure out. How much of it was your responsibility of getting involved with her? Because it doesn't look like the kind of person who would just take out a knife and stab you. So now we're outside, and I want to find out how you got outside. She was going outside. Did you follow her to her
No, Your
car?
Honor.
How did you get to her car?
We were already outside.
You don't answer my question, I'm going to dismiss your case. Do you understand that?
Yes.
That's easy for me. If something doesn't make sense, it's not true. You said you were at the bar. Yes. She passed you. You were sitting at the front, clearly towards the entrance, because you said it was half inside, half outside.
Yes.
So she was passing you on her way out. She mumbled something to you as you were at the bar.
Yes.
You said, what did you mumble? She's going out to her car.
Mm-hmm.
How did the two of you get to her car?
By
From
walking.
the bar.
By walking.
Right after her.
Yes.
No, don't speak.
You're right.
Right after her.
Mm-hmm.
So that you followed her out of the bar.
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Because she mumbled something and I wanted to confront what she mumbled, and previously we're already having altercations.
Well, then that would make you very stupid.
Okay.
That would make you very stupid to follow her out after you had many altercations. You had been in the bar for a while. Everybody's drinking. You followed her outside. She was leaving. What about you?
We were still inside. Priscilla goes and follows to where she's going with the guys that she was with. And then he starts to kind of like go towards Priscilla to grab her.
Who sort of goes to Priscilla?
The man that Miss Flores was with.
Who was following her out of the bar?
Yes.
So he goes to prevent her from following her out of the bar.
At that point,
that would be a yes.
Well, because they're both arguing with each other.
That's okay.
Yeah.
She was following her out of the bar.
Yeah, but she was just sitting there yelling at her. They're both yelling at each other. And then
They wouldn't have been yelling at each other if she hadn't have followed her out of the
You're
bar.
right.
Of course I'm right.
So
now they're yelling at each other.
They're yelling at each other, and to me, there's no reason for him to put his hands on her. So when her cousin and I saw that, we went up to confront him. We're like, hey, you need to leave her alone because they've had altercations in the past. So we were like, hey, you need to leave her alone, stay out of it. And then everyone starts arguing. Them two are arguing, we're arguing with the guy. And then everything gets moved over to her car. And then that's when everyone's yelling at each other. And then out of nowhere, she strikes me. And then there's so much going on. I looked down and I felt wet and I just touched myself. My hands covered in blood. My outfit, as you could see in the video, was covered in blood. I hadn't touched her. We were arguing, but I have the police report here where she states that she did not have any injuries. And then
Just a second. She didn't have any injuries. And there was no cause for her to stab either one of you, based upon what I saw, based upon what she told me. There was a lot of verbal screaming back and forth, but there was nothing that I heard or saw that suggested that in self-defense, she took out a knife and stabbed the both of you. Absolutely nothing. So, Ms. Flores, your case is dismissed, where you're asking for damages to the steering wheel. And on the counterclaim, I'm awarding the defendants $10,000 as they request. I have no idea why they dropped this case. Either your lawyer knew somebody or the judge was taking a nap. But there is absolutely no basis to use a deadly weapon.
I was self-defending myself. I have restrainers. She keeps calling me, even to this day.
Listen to me.
Your Honor.
Listen to me.
Your Honor, please.
I don't care if you have restraining orders, madam. Don't you understand? You cannot use a deadly weapon when somebody is yelling at you. People that you know, people that you have a history with. You can't use a deadly weapon. And nothing in the story that you told me gave you reason to pick up a knife and use a deadly weapon. The history that you may have with them is an entirely different thing.
Please, let me please explain what happened previously to these events and the ongoing harassment that Priscilla still taunts me.
Listen to me. If she taunts you, file a violation of the protective order.
Okay.
That's what you do. You don't stab them.
I had it for self-defense because I was so scared of them.
That's my judgment. Your case is dismissed. $10,000 on the counterclaim. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
I do feel scared to this day of how she torments me as well as her family members.
We were all friends, and then she's just not a good person that we wanted to be associated with.
With Jessica, the fact that she did follow me outside the vehicle, I know a weapon was not a choice to have, but it was something that I felt unsafe with because of the constant of them harassing me prior to this event.
I just looked down and I was covered in blood, and I just started freaking out.
Definitely no more seeing each other. I hope with the relocation within the apartments, it will be a better peaceful environment for me and Priscilla, and definitely go from there.
Justice was served because she didn't deserve
I'm glad she was put
to
in
take
place.
advantage of us again.
I don't think I would have granted the defendants all of the money that they were seeking in their countersuit, because in her story, when she was laying it out to you, she admitted that she knew that there was a restraining order against her held by the plaintiff.
You mean the defendant?
The defendant. So the second that they entered that bar and then realized that the plaintiff was there, they're under a legal obligation to leave, and you did not leave. So therefore, I think that obviously no one deserves to be stabbed. You cannot just stab people.
Yeah.
That is not something you can do.
But they were under an obligation.
They were under a legal obligation to leave. Not to say they should not have been compensated for being stabbed under the circumstances.
She had no basis, except that she said she had prior harassment.
There is a proper course of recourse for when someone violates a restraining order, none of which includes
stabbing them in the neck.
The College Game Day podcast is presented by Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises. First Saturday in November brings plenty of showdowns. For the first time, they have college football playoff rankings beside them. This is the College Game Day podcast for Friday, November 3rd. Reese Davis, Pete Thamel, and Stanford Steve here. Looking forward to making some picks with you gentlemen. Steve, the fridge on game day has scuffled around a little bit, but you continue to distance yourself from the field, it appears, in terms of making picks here on the pod.
Just happy to have somewhere else to go, Reese. You know, the Saturdays to stare down at the fridge, and I'm happy to see your guys' faces and be able to give some thoughts and actually give some winners and be over 500. That's the goal.
Pete, what do you have to say for yourself?
I thought I'd at least get an absent
week.
team. I'd at least get all my I'd at least get some blanket like all favorites or all underdogs. I should have probably raised my hand for that, but deserved goose egg. Cold when I opened the email yesterday. Deserved goose egg. So 20 games under. I might as well just buy you guys a steak in Tuscaloosa this week, because that's where we're headed. So
having I'm sure neither of you are familiar with this, being from different environs, but when I was a kid, there was this guy who had a very popular radio syndication segment that people would run on various stations late in the week during the college football season. And he was a gentleman called Leonard Post Hostess, and Leonard would pick losers. He also had a newsletter that went out weekly that you could find at the gas station. And it was it was a corny thing. It was kind of hilarious. Like he would refer, like for instance, as he would give his thing in his very Southern accent, he would say, something like, the Gainesville swamp lizards, as opposed to the alligators, and call them the Tuscaloosa pachyderms and the, all of that. And he would go through this whole thing. And then he would get to the end after he broke down out what was going to happen. It's always based on the mascots or traditions or history or whatever. And he would get to the end and he would go, Leonard's losers in a close one. That meant closer than the experts think. And within the spread, he would go Leonard's, and he'd pick the losers as opposed to picking the winners. So I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt and think that perhaps you were channeling your inner Leonard's loser and going 0-8, which I'm now jinxing myself to go 0 and whatever this week.
I think we need to know that our intrepid producer Taylor has been challenged, because we thought he did a spot on impression of me a couple weeks ago when I was absent on the podcast. But Ty Schmidt threw down the gauntlet yesterday, Taylor. He threw down the gauntlet. All right. Hand gestures, the whole thing. He did not have the obscure staffer references that sort of defined your impersonation, but I think he covered the spread in the Thamel impersonation off.
Was that fun, Pete, or did it make you?
No, it was fun.
You're a good sport.
Yeah, no. You're
a great sport. But what was that like right there?
It was a little weird. I just started getting all these texts with like crying emojis, like for like an hour, and then I finally like stopped and like looked at it, and then I watched it. And I will say this, Pat did call me that morning and said, one of our staffers is going for you as Halloween. I wanted you to know. And I said, oh, who? Because at first I thought about Boston Connor. And we don't exactly look alike. We certainly don't have the same hairstylist. And he said the talented one. And I said, oh, it's going to be Ty. And then I was like, oh, it's going to be good. Ty's good. So I'm glad Lou Holtz was not offended that Ty cheated. So,
yeah. How about the great thing about Ty Schmidt's impression of Lou talking to Lou is that Lou sat there and answered the questions, except for the one reference of "I hope my lisp is not as bad as yours." Other than that, Lou sat there as if he were talking to me or someone else. It was like never acknowledging until that one time.
I rewatched last night because I missed it live when Ryan Day from Ohio State went to the set and talked to fake Lou. I was dying laughing. He was like, I just decided to go home and watch Matlock. I fell off the couch.
That's the only miss, because I know this shows my age, and I know it shows my rather unusual affinity for old TV. I discovered something about Lou that he and I have in common. Every night for him, and most every night for me, I flip on the old black and white Perry Masons. So it's not Matlock that Lou loves; it's Perry Mason.
You watch Perry Mason every night, Reese Davis?
Yeah, not every night, most every night. Like you get in bed right before you go to sleep, you flip it on. It's calming, because everybody on Perry Mason, even the criminals, have a conscience. And at the end, if when Perry figures out who really did the killing, there are a few exceptions where the guy will go, and he deserved it. But most of the time, there's this overwhelming moment where they realize the magnitude of what they've done by committing murder. And they get on top of it. And,
do you have those saved
I like a good whodunit. Huh?
Do you have those saved on DVR? Or
no,
channel
man.
You could go to.
No, Pluto TV. Pluto TV, if you're an old school TV aficionado, they have like channel after channel. Like, I love the Andy Griffith show too. There's a channel. All it shows is Andy Griffith. Jay Billis loves the Brady Bunch. He can go to Pluto and just watch Brady Bunch after Brady Bunch after Brady Bunch after Brady Bunch. And they do it with all of them. They're like old Westerns. They're, I think they've even got like one that does like all Judge Judy's or something like that. It's
Jim Harbaugh would like that. He's a huge
like
Judge Judy fan.
He's probably behind on those right now.
Hey, if Judge Judy came out in favor of Jim Harbaugh, like, and made a statement about this, that would actually make this thing like, that's
what the NCAA should do. They should just haul Connor Stallions in front of Judge Judy, and we'll get it all figured out. Get to the bottom of it in an hour.
Probably do a better job than the IRP did with the basketball scandal.
But Judge, that's a great idea. So
I was in, Steve will appreciate this. I was in the Stanford football office doing a spring story for Sports Illustrated the day Harbaugh was at or on Judge Judy. And like David Shaw walks out, there's like a TV in the hallway, looks at it, crosses his arms, looks at me, shakes his head, walks back in his office. And it was like, how to say everything without opening your mouth. It was one of those moments where I was like, did that just happen? And he was like, look. And I was like, whoa. And he goes, and just walks back.
We're going to make picks after all of this. I won't even have to pick my favorite show on Pluto TV, which, I don't know. Anyway, you've learned more about me than I really care to reveal at this point. So I guess this is the time when I probably should remind you that Weekend Preview is brought to you by Eckridge Smoked Sausage. Psst, the secret to winning game days this college football season is Eckridge Smoked Sausage. Visit Eckridge.com for dozens of simple, mouth-watering recipes to elevate your next tailgate. Taylor, what do you have for us, kid? Let's make some picks.
Reese, what a wholesome fact we all just learned about you. I mean,
it really fits, doesn't it, Taylor?
Adding to the legend of Reese Davis. Unbelievable here. All right, let's pick some games.
Paul Drake would also get to the bottom of all of these. He's a great private investigator. You put him on this case, and less than an hour with commercial time, he's to the bottom of it, get you all the evidence you need right there. That'll do it.
He'd pick some winners. Steve still picking winners here, 5-3. I tell everyone I know, listen to Steve's picks on the podcast. That's where it's at. Reese, you won 500. Pete, the goose egg, as mentioned previously. Steve, 8 games over 500. Reese, 3 under, and Pete way back, but still a nice guy at heart. First game up, let's go. Kansas State at Texas. Texas, a 4-point favorite that kicks off at noon Eastern. Let's go. Reese, Steve, Pete.
How about the resurgence of the Kansas State Wildcats, sort of given up after winning the Big 12 last year? This year lost a couple of games early, only one of them in conference. Now there's a 5-way tie atop the Big 12, and Kansas State, what do you know, is right in the middle of it. The week after, Houston played Texas to a touchdown game, probably still smarting from that, so you don't want to overreact, but Kansas State beat them 41-0. They haven't given up a touchdown in their last 2 games. They have a top 25 rush defense, and with Texas, we assume, again, playing Malik Murphy at quarterback, might be a little bit more reliant on the running game, which has been very good for them. The one thing I will say is that for all of the things Kansas State has accomplished under Chris Kleiman, they're 0 for Texas. And in fact, predating him, they haven't beaten them since 2016. That's 6 straight wins for the Horns. Kansas State's doing the less of the 2 quarterback thing, I think. It seems like Will Howard sort of found his footing after throwing 3 picks in that loss to Oklahoma State. Hasn't thrown one since. Texas had some trouble with Dylan Gabriel running, and Kansas State certainly going to run the quarterback, whether it's Will Howard most of the time or Avery Johnson. Both of them have found the end zone 6 times. There are a ton of things pointing toward Kansas State in this game, and I can't do it. I'm going to take the Horns and lay the 4.
Wow, that was leading all in the signs of Kansas State. You touched on Kansas.
Too much time with Corso, you can tell.
He likes the okie doke.
Oh, it's a great call. I look at you mentioned all the stuff about Kansas State, what they do well. I also, I just think it's a sign of a great coaching staff. I really do, to see this team always ascending and the way they've done it. And now with the portal, those guys too have had guys taken, they've gotten guys in. And on the other side, you look at Texas's defense, where the only time they let up more than 24 was that loss to Oklahoma. So with Malik back at quarterback for a second straight week, all signs point to that. Pete can update if that's different. I think it's a real low scoring game. I really do. But the way Texas is going to want to get Malik involved in that run game and stay with the run game with the 2 guys they have, I'm going to take the 4. I'm going to take the points with Kansas State. I think it's a field goal game, and the Cats keep it close.
I've noticed the inordinate amount of time
Steve takes the team to cover but not win when it's a small point spread. I feel like you do that just almost every time. So I'm just going to say Kansas State's going to win this football game. This is just classic, right from Central Cast. First of all, Reese brought this up, and I think it's an unbelievable stat that needs to be expounded on a little bit. Kansas State has not allowed a touchdown in 2 games against a Bryles and a Holgerson. All right. Now, I don't care who they are, where they are, what personnel they have. Those are not 2 dudes that don't score touchdowns. Right. So I really feel like Joe Klanderman is on point right now, and he's got a backup quarterback who's shown to be a little bit prone to poor decisions. And there's an offensive line that on paper was supposed to be better, but has shown some fits of porousness this year. So I also want to see Avery Johnson in this game. Now, again, Chris Kleiman is the best coach in the Big 12, right? The guy's won a bunch of national championships. He's an elite team builder. He's done a great job getting this team better throughout the season, which is a sign of a high-end coach. The insertion of Avery Johnson, that was in that Texas Tech game, correct? When he came in and ran for 5 touchdowns? Yes. Was that guy was electric, man. That was a rare – he had a Braxton Millery burst. It was different. I really and again, you guys brought up the great point about Texas's struggles with a running quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in spots, see him creatively. Colin Klein obviously knows a lot about running quarterbacks and how to use them. So again, fascinating collision of 0 for Texas versus this, but I'm going to take K-State for the win. And since I'm 20 games below 500 and made no good predictions, I'll just dangle out there that I did pick K-State preseason to win the Big 12.
All right.
Again.
Texas A&M heading to Ole Miss. Ole Miss at 3.5-point favorite. Lane Kiffin needling in the press conference this week. That kicks off at noon. Let's go Steve, Pete, Reese.
Well, first and foremost, we have game day implications on this one. Correct, gentlemen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
sure.
There's always a side that tends to lead a certain way when those are involved. I just look at Ole Miss, and I get it. Everybody says they're underappreciated. They only have the one loss to Bama, where they did play their worst game of the year. But I think that was because Bama dictated what was going to happen in that game. You look at the wins, 7-point win over Arkansas, 7-point win over Auburn. It's still a 2-possession game in the fourth quarter against Vanderbilt last week. I just feel like when you look at this matchup and the way A&M's got some dudes on defense. Everybody talks about the offense and the head coach, but they had some guys up front that are really, really playing well, all SEC level. Again, it's a field goal game to me, and if it's 3.5, I'm taking the underdog here with A&M. I just feel like the capability up front is better, and I don't like the matchup for Ole Miss on both sides of the line of scrimmage. So give me the Aggies plus the points.
Man, just riding hard with Texas A&M, Steve. Yeah, I can't do it, man. I just can't do it. This would fit in the we have to get this bit sponsored, but it would fit in that Pepto-Bismol like churn game. Ole Miss is up 21-0 in the first quarter, and I'd be like, oh my God, why did I possibly pick Texas A&M in this? You're looking at a team whose rush offense is 98th in the country. Their pass offense is 42nd. Like, they do have a fairly solid defense, especially when it comes to scoring defense. So I guess total yardage defense. So I do give DJ Durkin credit for that, but I just don't think they will be able to move the ball at the same pace Ole Miss can move the ball. It's pretty simple math for me here, and I am not going to overthink it, and I am not going to be reaching for Tums come Saturday afternoon.
You guys have hit the big statistical things. This is a mindset game. More than anything else. Everything in me wants to go along with Steve. I mean, it's like the old Digger Phelps thing. He goes, I smell it. Smell the upset. Smell it. I smell it. I smell Ole Miss, face planting here in this. But the stronger part of me, I think, against A&M, it was like A&M came in there a couple of years ago and couldn't get it done, should have, kind of, sloppy on offense, couldn't finish drives. I think the Ole Miss defense is, pretty average at best, but, A&M's offense has been far from fixed. I think there will be a lot of consternation in College Station, particularly after what Taylor referenced of Lane Kiffin sort of in low talking Lane mode, giving them the little jab about, we're, back around the top 10. You'd think with all those NFL guys, if they've been top 10, but they're trying to get bowl eligible. We'd like to stop them from that. It's like, okay, wow. It was pretty funny. I don't know how intentional it was, or if he just sort of started talking and didn't stop. But I don't really totally trust either of these teams. But I think I'm gonna go Ole Miss and say they at least set up a potential game day situation in Athens next week. That is not set. Doesn't mean, if you're listening, doesn't mean if Ole Miss wins, definitely going to Athens. Just means that is a really attractive destination if so. But I'm going to go with Hotty Toddy and say that they win it 24-20, likely because A&M's driving for the win and fumbles or drop kicks the ball out of bounds or something on fourth down or snaps it over the quarterback's head. Something will go wrong and they'll snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
We'll hand Steve the Tums in the office in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
I hope all the Tyler from Spartanburg show up for this matchup with Notre Dame coming to town, a 3-point favorite at Clemson. This game kicks off at noon Eastern. Let's go Pete, Reese, Steve.
My pick is going to be simple. This Notre Dame team is not exponentially different than last year's Notre Dame team. I might think it might be a little bit better. Certainly the injury to Mitchell Evans hurts Notre Dame, so I don't want to discount that. But last year after this game, 35-14 Irish, quote, they just physically kicked our butt, period, the end, Dabo Swinney said. They absolutely dominated us in every aspect of football, and it starts with coaching, tackling, blocking, you name it. It is what it is. So do we think Clemson has changed enough to a point where they can now out-physical Notre Dame? I don't. So I'm going to take the Irish to win on the road in Death Valley.
To Pete's point, Notre Dame ran for 263 yards last year, and Clemson ran for 90. They controlled the line of scrimmage there. I mean, now a guy went for over 100, now plays for LSU, but Notre Dame's got a bevy of running backs. Notre Dame is top 10 in the country in turnover margin. Clemson is barely in the top 100. They've lost 10 fumbles. Only Army and Nebraska have lost more. And one thing when you look at fumbles is you have to say, well, have you been particularly unlucky? Because the statistics will tell you over the course of time that because the ball bounces in peculiar ways, you're going to be right around 50%. So you think, well, maybe they lost 10 of 12. They've been really lucky. They fumbled 16 times. So maybe they've been slightly unlucky. They lost 62% of them. It's way too many. The whole now we go philosophy. Now we're mad. Now we're really going to play. Maybe one week it's going to happen for Clemson, but I would have thought it might have happened last week against NC State. What I think of Clemson right now is I don't think the program is totally broken. I think Dabo can fix it. I think he will. I think they will improve, but I think they are what they are this year. And I think Notre Dame's better. And while I'm really almost philosophically against, not taking Clemson in the points at home at Death Valley, I'm going to go with Notre Dame because they're a better team.
Pete, what do you got on Shipley?
I have not.
He's in protocol. Is all.
Protocol.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
So we'll probably know that. We'll probably know that pregame. But that, if you're investing in this game, that's significant.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in. Also, just the scene for a noon kickoff game with all that's happened the last couple of weeks, and knowing the school pride that Clemson fan base has it been shaken at all? What's happened? I'm really interested to see, what that scene is like for a noon kickoff at Clemson. So I agree with all what you guys say. It just feels like Clemson's the right side. I don't really have anything other than I do believe they have the manpower up front to stop that run game. Notre Dame's played against some bad teams recently where that offense has looked really, really good and a lot better than it did against teams that had the caliber of talent on defense like Clemson has. I also just want to point out Virginia Tech's 3-1 in the ACC and Clemson's 2-4. I can't stop looking at that every day. But let's say Notre Dame wins a 1-point game. We'll take Clemson plus the points.
Pete, Steve, I think this is going to be 16-13.
Yeah,
13-10, something.
20 could win this one.
Next up, kind of a sad one here. Oklahoma, 5.5-point favorite at Oklahoma State, the last Big 12 bedlam. Who knows when we'll see these teams play again? Let's hear it from Reese, Steve, and then Pete.
Let's make no mistake about this, Taylor. They could play if they wanted to. I understand what Gundy is saying. It is Oklahoma's decision. They're the ones who left the league, but this is all about hurt feelings and being petty. They could play, and they will at some point. It'll die down, and they'll decide to play. They call this bedlam, but there's been nothing chaotic about this series historically. It's been sane and orderly. Oklahoma wins. That's just the way it goes. 91-19-1. Mike Gundy, everybody gets on Gundy. He's 3-15 in bedlam. He lost all four as a player. He did have 3 wins on the resume as the assistant. But then you realize he's been part of nearly a third of their all-time wins against the Sooners. So relatively speaking, he hasn't been terribly unsuccessful against them. They have found a phenom in Ollie Gordon II. He leads the nation in rushing. He's had back-to-back 250-yard games. He he is a guy that I remember them talking about when I was there a couple of years ago. And they decided to give him the ball after, they got whooped a couple of times, got whooped by South Alabama, lost to Iowa State, I think. And they've sort of changed because that's what Gundy does. He finds a way to fix it. He's dancing to Thriller in the team meeting yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw that, but you really need to have a look at that. This is the thing. I like Oklahoma, not down on them at all. But usually Oklahoma State finds a way not to win this game. I think with the emotion of the final bedlam for a while, wanting to send the Sooners off with a fabulous parting gift, and also I think the Pokes know who they are. I'm going to take the Pokes and the points at home, and I'm also going to call the outright win for Oklahoma State.
Wow.
Ooh.
And stats that don't mean anything for this game. Caleb Williams 0-1 in Bedlam, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was something I was going to say, Steve. They ended the Lincoln Riley era with a Pokes victory. A little bit different, but they also ended the Big 8 era. The last time they met in the Big 8 before both went to the Big 12, Oklahoma State won. So maybe there's something there too.
Yeah. Got a chance to talk to Barry Sanders at Monday Night Football this week. I was thinking about this game. And
sorry, I didn't hear you over that name drop. Could you say that again?
Yeah.
Sorry, they just got a little loud.
There's not many other names you could drop when you're going to a Lions game than Barry Sanders.
Chris Spielman.
Yes. I'm just the one guy I wish I got to see, but I could not get him. I think he was still working out through the game. Love Spiels and what they're doing. But I look at this game. I really, with all the great uniform combinations Oklahoma State has, and Pistol Pete's up there is my favorite, one of my favorite mascots. I wish they would go back to the Barry Sanders, Mike Gundy OSU on the helmet just for this game, and those all oranges or something like that. It'd be great. Anyway, I look at Oklahoma State and what they've done, but they're still giving up a lot of points. And as awesome as it's been, again, it goes back to these coaching staffs and everybody looking at Oklahoma State's schedule. They didn't have to play Texas coming into the year. There was a sneaky pick. Their season win total was only like 6. So I look at them as getting it right, and Bowman being the journeyman that he has been is just an awesome story to see him have success. But I think that defense is going to give up too many. So I'm going to take Oklahoma minus the points.
Oklahoma has a middling rush defense. It's like in the 50s somewhere. It's like 3-7 yards a carry. It's not good. Oklahoma State has a terrible pass defense. And I think which one of those gives the most? I want to say Oklahoma pass efficiency defense is 89th in the country. And again, some of that's the league you play in, and it's a byproduct of pace and all that stuff and pace of opponent, everything like that. But I really just feel like I don't have the conviction that Reese has, and I'm not going to try to do the Stanford Steve Needle thread here. So I am going to take Oklahoma, assuming they will be able to just pass the ball enough against a pedestrian secondary of Oklahoma State.
Weather's going to be fine too, so that'll certainly help. That'll help Oklahoma for sure.
Dylan looked a little chilly last week.
Yeah. I think everybody did. Yeah.
Woo! Man.
Packer scouts wouldn't have liked that.
All right, let's see what Missouri can give Georgia as they head to Athens. Georgia, a 15.5-point favorite. This kicks off at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll start with Steve and then go Pete and Reese.
I said last week that Georgia's through this 4 games of Florida, Missouri, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. They're going to be in a nail biter in one. Last week was not one of those. I do think this is the one. This for the point spread people out there, I was flying home late Saturday night, and people start posting some numbers. This opened at 18.5. And I might have made a click on that one with the road team then. And at 15.5, I still think Missouri has the goods to frustrate. I know Stetson Bennett was playing last year, and Missouri gave them all they could handle. The issue is Missouri doesn't really get to the passer, and you saw that against LSU. And that's what the dynamic of Jaden Daniels and why he's so good and why I think he's the Heisman front runner. You saw what he's capable in that circumstance when he knows the other team can't get to him, whether it's with his legs or just being more accurate. So I believe Missouri can hold up on the back end, and I believe they're gonna have some success. Georgia's secondary is really coming back to form, but I believe Missouri can have success with some balance in what they've done. I think they've done a great job with the offense, the way they mix it up, multiple sets. And I'm not calling the upset win, but I think 15.5 is too much. I'm going to take Missouri.
I'm gonna take the Stanford Steve needle thread here and do the same thing. So entering this season, I thought Missouri would have one of the 4 best defenses in the SEC, and their offense was going to be a work in progress. And in reality, the offense came right out and has played really well, and the defense has been a work in progress. But if you look at the past couple of weeks, how they played against Kentucky, how they really shut down South Carolina, the defense is where we thought it would be. Now, obviously, just the way Georgia scorched the turf in Jacksonville is a little bit scary because I think Florida has a pretty good defensive front, although their secondary stinks. So long way to say that I think Hopper and Rakestraw and some of those guys can slow down Georgia enough. Drinkwitz will be creative enough to move the ball a little bit. And I just can't get out of my head that game last year where Georgia just couldn't move the ball, probably should have lost if you really look at it. So I just can't see a much better Missouri program just turtling on the stage. I think they go, I think they play. I think Drink brings a bag of tricks with him, and they stay in this thing, and it's a game in the fourth quarter, and they cover.
I don't put much stock in last year's game because last year it was at the stage. I think we've talked about this a little bit, that I give you the benefit of the doubt. You're going to wind up flat at some point. Georgia, was flat. They outscored them 14-3 in the second half. I like this Missouri team a lot. And the corners that you mentioned, defensive players, they've got the goods on defense to be really good, but LSU, had their way with them largely. Here's where I think Missouri will play well. I think Drink will trick them at some point early, and they probably score a touchdown off of it. I wouldn't be surprised if Missouri has a lead, but 42-24 is a cover.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably where we're going to wind up. So I'm gonna take the dogs and lay the points, but it won't feel like an easy cover. Does that make sense? I'm going to take Georgia, lay in the points, but it'll be in doubt about whether they cover all the way into the fourth quarter. And I say they finally put a resilient Missouri team away, and I'll take the dogs.
I was trying to say this: if Georgia does put up 40 plus and covers, put them at number 1.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I might want one more week.
Okay.
But I don't wholly disagree.
I've already got
that would
there,
be back
so
to back. Pretty.
I can't really say anything. I already have them there, so I'm just waiting on
the pick.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Michigan.
There you go.
That's all.
We have an interesting one out here in the Big Ten West.
Is it interesting?
I think there's some intrigue around it. Intrigue around this game. Iowa, Brian Ferencl's Iowa, 3-point favorite, headed to Northwestern, which beat up on a loser Maryland team last week. So, and the total's 31. So that's fun.
Is that bitter alum? Is bitter alum Taylor allowed to come out on the pod?
No way. I would never. I'm a journalist with a capital J, Pete.
Did you hide all your hideous yellow and black Maryland gear from the mid 2000s after that performance last week?
Oh, it's all in the trash. We took it out this morning. It was easy.
Taylor, I really, as I was watching that game Saturday, the Maryland Northwestern game, I was like, how did you miss such an obvious super dog? That had, early kick, Maryland, which is, does that a little more often than most. And there's always the odd game, it seems like. The Northwestern has shown some improvement this year. It's always the odd game that Northwestern gets up for and plays great. Ohio State last year, I think, although weather helped a little bit there. The question I have here with the Iowa Northwestern game, with it being played at Wrigley Field, is the wind blowing out? Do we know? Will the wind?
Is this a one-way game, or did they fix it?
No, I think they fixed that.
Okay,
they fixed that.
That's too bad. That was fun.
The intrigue here, and Brian Ferentz is going to finish up the season, but the intrigue here is not whether Iowa wins or covers. It's not whether Northwestern pulls the upset. The real intrigue here is Will they score more than 29 runs, which was the highest, or 29 points to match the 29 runs, which was the highest scoring game at Wrigley Field this year? I'm going to say they do not. I'm going to say they don't reach 29. You'll have a baseball game that outscored Iowa and Northwestern. And boy, I don't like laying points with Iowa. So you know what? So I'm not gonna. Give me the Purple Cats. Give me the Purple Cats to win. No, I would say that give me the Purple Cats to lose 5-3. 5-3 final.
I don't have much. I don't find intrigue in this game. I'm going to say Iowa wins 7-3. Give me Iowa.
I'll sparkle in a little analysis that some of Northwestern's recent uptick has come with Brendan Sullivan at quarterback. They've been starting Ben Bryant, the Eastern Michigan / Cincinnati transfer. He's been dealing with some injuries. So for those masochists who are going to invest on this game, I would wait until Saturday morning for some clarity. Excuse me, on that. That said, I have too much faith in this Iowa defense. The teams at Northwestern, and look, David Braun deserves a ton of credit, right? They're sitting here at 4-4. They won one game last year, right? And they lost a bunch of their better younger players in the portal before the season started. He has done a heck of a job getting them, keeping them motivated. The wheels could have come off and they haven't. I think this game will play out like we think it's going to play out, and I think Iowa squeaks by. I'm going to go like it's a Andre Ware at Houston game for these guys, and say that it's like 20-14.
There's no way that anybody scores like 7 or 14 or 17 or like some normal.
So you're calling a no touchdown game, Reese?
No. I mean, we might have touchdowns, but we're going to have something: missed extra points, safeties. So it's going to be, there's going to be like an 18 involved or an 11 or something.
It's a crooked number game.
It's like some kind of weird thing.
Yeah. I love weird.
All right. This next one I think is objectively interesting. James Madison, a 5.5 point favorite at Georgia State, kicks off at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Steve says no. We'll start with Reese, Steve, and then Pete.
Well, the whole intrigue here is, does James Madison stay undefeated and continue the storyline of, in their second year of transition, not being allowed to compete for the Sun Belt Championship or go to the postseason, absent some extenuating circumstances where they would backfill a bowl game or something. James Madison is probably not quite what it was offensively last year, but they're still really good on defense. I'm gonna take the Dukes to keep it rolling and lay the points on the road.
Yeah, Tyler, this is way more interesting than Iowa and Northwestern, just so you know. Georgia State off a loss to Georgia Southern, who I think is a good team last week. James Madison finally gave up over 100 yards rushing that last week, but Old Dominion, I think it took over 40 carries. They still only averaged like 3.2 a carry in that game, but they got over 100. Georgia State loves to run the football. They're almost at 200 yards rushing a game. I can't do it though. Give me James Madison minus the points.
Yeah, so I like the one highlight of my Picks Pod season was taking Georgia State when both you guys took Marshall a couple weeks ago, and I am in no danger of doing that again. I mean, Georgia State's scoring defense is 65th, pass efficiency defense. They just gave up 44 to Georgia Southern. So they're on the bottom 7 in the country in passing yards allowed. I just feel like James Madison is good enough, dynamic enough to go into the Thunderdome down there in Atlanta and figure out a way to win by a touchdown.
Next up, Kansas at Iowa State. Iowa State, a 2.5 point favorite. No respect to Kansas. That kicks off at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Let's go Steve, Pete, and then Reese.
Well, you have the unranked team favored versus a ranked team, so that's plenty of intrigue. I do have an Iowa State insider that offers this. My buddy Adam in Iowa. Past 7 seasons, Iowa State is 17-3 in Big 12 home games when the sun sets before or during the game, averaging a 22-point victory. 3-0 versus top 10 teams. Held opponents to 15 or fewer points 13 of the 20 games. I'll take Iowa State.
Doesn't the sun set at like 1:45?
It's not Pullman, but it's pretty close.
Yes. tip of the cap to Matt Campbell, who after losing to Ohio, beat Oklahoma State, which at the time didn't seem like that big of a deal, and now seems like a really nice win. And then they've gone on to beat TCU, trounce to Cincinnati, and kind of manhandle Baylor. And they can. There was a chaos scenario somebody presented. It probably was Sicko's committee because it's in their wheelhouse. I don't remember who it was, where the playoff was Air Force, Rutgers, Iowa State, and maybe Virginia Tech, something like that. Anyway, it was glorious. But Matt Campbell has sort of pulled himself up off the mat after a couple lackluster seasons following their Fiesta Bowl appearance. They won that game, right? Did they beat Oregon? Yeah,
yes,
they won that game. Yeah. So anyway, Matt Campbell was as hot as he ever could have been and got a little chilly. And now, and considering that they had pretty significant personnel losses from the gambling scandal, tip of the cap there. They have cobbled together, figured it out, made some coordinator changes, the whole thing. That said, Kansas is winning. I mean, Kansas is going to cover. Oh no, wait, Kansas is getting points. I have too much faith in the bean, man. Watching that mullet flow in the breeze there. So sun up, sun down, rock chalk.
Man, I'm very wary for a lot of the reasons that Steve mentioned, and not the least of which that last year Iowa State would have won in Lawrence if not for the field goal mishaps, which became a big part of the signage when we took College Game Day to Kansas shortly thereafter. Coming off that win against Oklahoma and then going there, I really want to pick Iowa State, but I think Kansas is better. And it's only a field goal, so I'm going to go with Kansas and say that at least Iowa State's part of that 5-way tie for first place in the Big 12, with Kansas being a game back. Kansas, I'm going to say, keeps a 2-loss scenario alive for a team making the conference championship game. So I'm going to take the Jayhawks 2 and lay the 2.5.
Washington, a 3.5-point favorite at USC. This kicks off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Let's go, Pete, Reese, Steve.
So two interesting sort of dips we're in the middle of. We're in the middle of USC's defense dipping into mind-bending places of giving up chunk plays. And when they're in the middle of watching Washington's defense go from electric to pedestrian over the past few weeks. It's really, really simplistic to say that USC's defense will be the cure Washington needed. I am really curious. They're pretty banged up at receiver right now in Seattle. Jalen McMillan left early again from the last game. I don't think Giles Jackson played in that game. And so it will be interesting to see if it is indeed the cure. USC's defense is the cure that everyone expects for Washington. But at this point, this falls in like the antacid game category of, if I take USC, and then they give up 400 yards in the first half. It's like, well, of course they did. So I will believe a turn is coming there on the defensive end when I see it, and we really haven't seen it for 2 seasons now. So take Washington, cover, roll.
I'm going to take Washington too. Part of Washington's problem, in addition to health, and Michael Penix, I'm told, is feeling much better than he had really for the last week and a half. He, struggles to kind of, do all the things he normally did because he'd been under the weather, but he's kind of turned the corners, feeling much, much better. Maybe some of those guys will be back. The defensive thing that Pete mentioned, another problem for Washington has been turnovers, and USC hasn't capitalized on turnovers the way it did a year ago. They were plus 21 to lead the nation last year. They're plus 2 this year. They've only intercepted 6 passes. And Washington in the last 2 games is minus 5 in turnovers. I think Washington sort of does a better job taking care of the ball. I think that Penix will be himself. I think the Huskies probably got their attention, that people are questioning them after the last 2 weeks. But to be fair, they've earned the questioning against those 2 teams. If you're a national championship contender, can't have both of them. You can only have one. And they played below standard significantly in each of the last 2 games. That said, I think I really have a lot of respect for USC pulling that game out against Cal last week because it looked lost numerous times. I think Washington's going to make a statement. I'm going to take the Huskies and lay the points.
Agree with all you guys said. Last week I thought it was too many points for USC. I said Caleb was going to come back and play great, and he did. I think he plays great in this scenario here. I think Penix plays great in this scenario here. Something just tells me when you talk to people that play against USC, the idea is to make USC tackle you. Washington doesn't really do that. They throw the football down the field. And I just, there's a sense to me that Caleb and those guys can score, and I think they're more efficient than Washington, and Penix will be great. I think USC's better on offense. I really believe that, and I'm taking USC.
You have faith in that O-line, Steve, being a hand-in-the-dirt guy?
I do. A lot. I mean, Reese touched on the turnovers, but that Washington defense, when you know you're off that Oregon game, they showed up and won the game for them on a, I don't know why coaches hate kicking field goals, but Arizona State decided not to. And then last week, the defense was not good against a Stanford team that had their best offensive day of the year. So I just look at the crispness of USC's offense. I think in the detail that they bring to the table, I think it's going to be a lot. And Washington's been coasting these next couple of weeks. I think it's a wake-up call.
Got the college game day game. The fellas here, they're going to be in Tuscaloosa. Reese has issued a challenge to the Bama fans. LSU is a 3-point dog. Alabama 3-point favorite. This kicks off at 8 p.m. Eastern. Let's go Reese, Steve, and then Pete.
Reese, how's that challenge gone? Has your challenge been challenged at all?
We have come up with some incentives. We have tried to incentivize the Greek community there to show up and bring it, because, as I said on the podcast Monday, they're going to need it in the game. LSU has had much more success in big games in the state of Alabama against Alabama than they have when they play at home. Last year, obviously notwithstanding. They've played well in Tuscaloosa, or dating years back in Birmingham. Why? I don't know. I talked to Jacob Hester about it this week. He goes, I don't know. He goes, we couldn't beat them, very often in Baton Rouge, but there we played well. Jaden Daniels has been sensational. And, I always laugh because people say, well, the mobile quarterbacks give Alabama's defense problems, a dual threat quarter. Well, who do they not give problems to? Who is it that Cam Newton and Tim Tebow or Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, Johnny Manziel, who do they not give problems to? Everybody. And Jaden Daniels is a major problem, and he's playing great. His numbers are similar to Joe Burrow's in his Heisman year. He's got two absolute, studs at wide receiver. I think this whole game is decided by what type of game it is. If it is an up and down track meet, like the LSU Missouri game this year or the LSU Ole Miss game this year, LSU's winning that game.
Mm-hmm.
But if Alabama can control the middle of and get pressure in the middle and not be so afraid of him escaping that they don't really pressure him, then it's going to be a long day. I haven't been able to pick Alabama correctly this year when, I don't think they're going to win against Ole Miss. They do. I thought they'd pull out a way against Texas. They didn't. And it's hard to get a read on them. I think I picked Tennessee to cover, and Alabama won by 14. On the other side, I'm interested to see if Harold Perkins makes an impact on this. He's only got 3 sacks this year. And, he had more than that in a single game against Arkansas a year ago. I'm gonna take the home team, take the field goal, and say they win a close one. But it's not going to surprise me at all if LSU wins, especially if the game starts going up and down. Alabama doesn't have that on offense, in my judgment. But I'll take Alabama and lay the 3.
I'm in a tough spot here because the way I do my tape watches, I'll rip through one side of a team, and I just got done with LSU's offense, and it's really hard. Now going into this, I've said all the last 2 weeks, Bama. I like Bama in this matchup, and with that being said, Reese, you touched on it. The over under 60.5. If this game goes over, LSU's winning. If it goes under, Alabama's going to win this game. I'm not in this camp of LSU's defense is fixed after playing Auburn and Army. I'm sorry. I'm just not there. And it's a lot like the Texas matchup. Texas dictated. They hit the balls over the top of that Bama defense, and that's what you have to do. But I look at the improvements Alabama has made every single week. I like the matchup. I love the idea. We talked about USC not being able to tackle guys. Alabama does that. They have guys at every level that are really, really good defensive players and look like Alabama defensive players from the past. So I think Alabama mucks it up and keeps Jaden Daniels off that field with the run game. And I'm going to take Bama plus the points. Minus the points. Sorry.
Yeah, I was ready to make the point that Reese made about Harold Perkins, and I'll double down with that with Mason Smith. Going into this season, remember he was suspended for the Florida State game. He was a guy that NFL people talked about being a top 15 type draft pick, and he has been, in terms of being a disruptor, he has basically been a no-show this year. And then Harold Perkins has been mediocre compared to that Arkansas game when he made his name. And I do wonder now, when history looks back at Perkins, if you remove that game from last season, he was very good, but he wasn't, the electric monster we thought he would be coming into this year. So he's in a sophomore slump. Smith has just been mediocre at best, and I just don't have faith in that defense, like Steve said. So I think one of those two guys has to play like we thought they would play this year for LSU to go there and win. And I am not going to take that. I don't love the Bama offense, but I like Saban in these kinds of games at home. So until LSU has proven it's fixed its defense, that's where we are.
We didn't even mention the Brian Kelly versus Tommy Reese either. That's
we
fascinating
did not.
to me.
It's
fascinating.
I have there's a mutual friend of theirs that when that hire was made, so he told me, he said, Saban just wanted Brian's playbook. So there's a little intrigue there. And then, BK, blunt as he always is, has said plenty, not in a bad way, but just about beating Alabama and signifying the arrival and so forth. Things like that tend to get noticed and remembered. And the Boston Tuscaloosa gets wound up for this one. He just does. He likes to downplay it. You understand it because he's got great relationships and lifelong friends from the very special time in Baton Rouge. 20 years ago, they won a national championship. 20-year anniversary of that LSU title team.
That'd be a nice mention during the game on the board.
Yeah, you think? Ooh, I don't know. They won't know what to do. They'll want to cheer.
Exactly. That's what I said.
The team you did
do it during the light show. That'll be perfect.
Last game for today, UCLA, a 2.5-point favorite at Arizona. Pac-12 after dark. This kicks off at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll start with Steve, then go Pete and Reese.
Yeah, this is a fascinating matchup, guys. Love what both staffs have done with their personnel pertaining. UCLA's strength is defense. Arizona's is offense. I do like some of the personnel on Arizona's defense. The difference to me is I can't stand the UCLA quarterback situation, and I love the Arizona quarterback situation. Give me the home team again at home, late night in Tucson. It's going to get weird. I'll take Arizona plus the points.
I'll echo the weird. We can always root for weird. No one has said anything formally about Noah Fafita, but at this point, if he's not starting, there would be something seriously wrong. He has been a revelation, kind of your classic guy who probably would have been recruited higher if he was 6'3" and looked like he should be a uniform model. But boy, man, that kid can ball, and he's done it week after week. And again, you don't get merit badges in major college football for close losses, but he certainly had a few of those. And now that he's had a few wins, it looks like, Jed Fish has a centerpiece for the future. That said, I just think talent-wise, I'm not sold that Arizona's at the class of UCLA right now. So I think Chip with Garbers is going to figure it out. He's going to slow it down. It's going to be a low-scoring game, and I think the Bruins go there and win and cover.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm really glad to hear you say that because I know Arizona's the flavor of the moment, but I like their offense so much, and I like the fact that they've been able to build on games. It hasn't been like, well, we rose up, we played Washington tough. Well, then they did it again against SC, and then then they're able to blow out Wazoo when you figured, okay, now they're going to go on the road and it'll all come crashing down and it'll be too much. And then the game against Oregon State was really impressive because I think Oregon State's really good.
Yep.
And I thought that was an excellent win for the Wildcats. And I'm going to take Arizona. I'm going to take Arizona at home, and with Fafita and McMillan, who I really like, and I think they'll find a way to win because UCLA just seems to sputter a lot, turn the ball over, had some of the problems. I just I think Chip is holding that together with duct tape and baling wire, and he's doing a great job with it. But Arizona seems to have a little bit of a rhythm. I think Jed Fish knows the overtime rules. He might need to know them again because I figure this is going to be a close game. But I'm gonna take the Wildcats.
That's all we got.
All right,
that's all we got.
That's it. That's only 11 games.
Only 11. Boy, that's a real opportunity for Thamel to make a comeback by picking 11 games.
I mentioned that to Tyler before.
Did you?
Yep,
Give him
just
a
leaving the
chance?
door open. Just keep leaving the door open for the guys. Baseball playoffs. Let's get more teams in the playoffs.
Guys, look forward to seeing you in Tuscaloosa. It's going to be a great morning, a great Saturday of games for the first Saturday in November. We'll get a little more shaping, perhaps even a little clarity on the picture as we shape up in this college football playoff race. Thanks for listening to the College Game Day podcast. Ask you to subscribe, download it wherever it is that you like to get your podcast. We appreciate you listening, and we'll talk next time.